What's up, guys? So if you saw in the last couple videos back, probably, we went and purchased this truck from Casey Liddell up in Oregon. While we were up there, we went and toured the Yankum Ropes factory, which is what we're gonna be doing in today's video. But it was just way too long to include in that other video. I felt it needed like special attention. So I didn't want to make too long of a video in that other one. So I decided to make a whole nother video. So if you haven't watched the full video of bringing this truck home, go watch it. There's a little teaser in there for the Yankum Ropes factory. But that's where we're gonna be doing this video. So make sure you go check out the full video of this one. Watch how the Yankum Ropes are made in this video. And then I had a couple people ask recently if I still have my deuce and a half. Yep, it's right here. It hasn't gone anywhere. So go watch that video after you get done watching this one. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching. What's up, guys? So we are here in the Yankum Ropes factory. We got Alan with Yankum Ropes here. He's gonna give us a tour of the facility. So what area are we in here?
So this is cordage production. Anyways, I'll tell you what, it's been fun watching your channel. It's been fun watching it grow.
Yeah,
this is really cool.
I appreciate it. This is cool for me finally being able to come up here and do this and see how like the products that I use get made, and you know. Yeah,
well, what we love is showing people like, yeah, this is American made. Like,
right.
It doesn't get more American as far as production is concerned, because a lot of companies, they'll either just buy finished cordage and then they'll make their slings. We make our own cordage, so we are our own cordage company. So this is where it starts out. This is the nylon fiber. This is not one strand. There's a lot of strands in there. There's like 68 filament fibers in there. They're like 5% the size of a human hair. Because in a good rope, the more finer fibers you have, the stronger it's going to be. And then obviously you got to be careful that it doesn't get too delicate. This is a delicate rope, but we do a lot of things to the twist, and then we glue the fibers together. It gets better, but that's a little later. So these racks, all of them have specific, they all have individual tensioners, so that then all of the fibers are the exact same tension in the yarn. And so all of this right here is just for producing one strand of yarn. So you'll see all of these fibers come in, they go through the external tensioners, and then there you go. So this is one of the strands of yarn for a 5/8 inch rope, and just for the jacket. So we have one machine that does the core yarn, and we've got another machine that does the jacket yarn. And there's a lot of different aspects to making rope. In rope production, there's a million different kinds of rope. What we're doing is we're doing double braid rope construction, so there's a rope inside of a rope. There's other ropes that are like that, but a lot of times you have like kern mantle construction. You've also got parallel strands, where it's just a decorative jacket over parallel strands. We braid a rope, then we braid a rope over top of it. But this isn't a decorative jacket, it's a load-bearing jacket. That'll make more sense in a second. But these are our yarn twisters. It's really fun to see those going, but it's the weekend, they're sleeping. So anyways, this is our pairing machine, and what its job is to do is to take two strands of yarn and then pair them. So this isn't a bobbin with just one strand of yarn, there's actually two of them, it's parallel.
Okay. That's cool.
So we do a tandem strand construction. Now it's going to start making a little bit more sense.
This is cool.
The fun part. So there's a lot of work that goes into getting ready to make rope. Like, you got to make the yarn, you got to put the right amount of twist in it, and then you can start to make rope. There's a lot of setup for it. So here's the first rope that we make. This is the core machine. We have just a little bit of yarn left in it. We've been running throughout the whole week, and it's the end of the week, and they're gonna get it all ready to go tomorrow. But we can show in slow motion how it works. So this is a 12 carrier machine, and there's tandem strands, so there's 24 strands of the core. And as you can see, that's the finished product there. And we'll start moving it this way. So this is the inch forward. So when it's time to change out those bobbins, what we can do is we can move it just a little bit so that then you can reach right here and change out the bobbin instead of having to reach over the machine or through it and accidentally hit a button. Get your hand tangled up in it. So anyways, but yeah, this is the core braiding step where we're making, like I said, it's the first rope. This is the rope inside of the rope. There's fewer carriers, but it's a thicker strand, and there's less of a pick angle in it, and that's so that then we can have about 60% of the load of the rope is actually on the inside of the rope. There's a couple reasons for that. We want the inside of the rope to be stronger than the outside, even though the outside is load bearing, because we want the rope to fail from the outside in, not from the inside out. So it's just a safety precaution that's kind of baked into the engineering of the rope. So I just love this part. It's very mesmerizing.
That's pretty cool, getting to see how everything gets weaved together. Like that's pretty cool.
It's really fun. So this is the jacket braiding machine. I might be able to kick it on full speed for you, but we're almost out of yarn, so we'll have to watch it. But we're braiding the jacket over the core.
So that's the core. That's what was just being made over there, right?
Yep, correct. Okay. As you can see right now, we've got a splice in it.
Okay.
We've got it perfectly timed so that then the core runs out at the same time the jacket runs out, and so we don't have any internal splices in the rope.
Okay.
So if a splice is done correctly, that would be the strongest part of the rope. That's if it's done correctly. So what we found is the best thing to do is to have the consistency of no splices in a rope.
Okay.
Let's just keep it a pure section. There's no splices. It's just a perfect piece of cordage. And it's just been more efficient for us. It's just easier to run it that way. And so these are timed to run out about the same time this is going to run out when it reaches about there.
Gotcha.
So we're going to kick this on full speed. You'll notice that there's about twice as many carriers in this machine. This is a 24 carrier, but it's a 48 strand jacket. Like a lot of the foreign ropes, they'll use fewer carriers, thicker yarn, because their machine can output more cordage in less time, which means
production and everything.
Faster production, all that kind of stuff. We want the strongest. We want it to be more efficient in the end result. We want the device itself to be more efficient, not our production. That way the customer's going to get a better product.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
But the disadvantage to us is it takes longer and then it becomes a more expensive rope. So this is fun to watch.
That is. That's amazing.
Stop it right there because Dan's gonna yell at me if we go too far.
Getting too far, and he's gonna walk in tomorrow morning and be like, "What happened?
Oh, what did Alan do?" So, anyways, but yeah, so this is 5/8 production. So this size of rope is going to be perfect for like a side by side doing a recovery. Because in kinetic ropes, as you know, it's not about what's stuck; it's about what your recovery vehicle is and how heavy it is.
Right.
So you got to pair the right size of rope
with what you're driving.
Exactly. So a guy that's got a side by side with a 5/8 inch rope could pull out a diesel truck and a toy hauler. We have video of it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just because you've got the right amount of stretch, you've got all that stuff just for the right size. Because the thicker your rope is, the more force it takes to stretch the rope out.
Right.
And so, and we go all the way up to a 2.5 inch rope rated for 200,000 pounds, but you put that rope on a side by side, it's not going to stretch.
It's going to be like pulling with a chain, basically.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's 100 pounds of massive rope, you know what I mean?
Sitting there lugging that around.
Exactly. So after all that's done, we cut them to length. So like a 30-foot rope takes 37 feet of cordage. What people don't realize, like there's 2.5 feet of cordage that goes into the splice on both sides, and there's quite the process to it. So we make cordage, we try and get a few weeks ahead in the cordage side of stuff, and then we cut and render those down and then tie the tie the splices. After the splices are done, then what we do is we dip the eye, and then we dip the containment coating to glue those fibers together. You remember we were talking, those fibers are tiny. They're itty bitty, like 5% the diameter of a human hair. And so if you take that out into the wilderness, out onto the beach, it's just gonna fluff up and fray really fast. So what we wanna do is try to make the rope more durable. The first step is that we dip the eye. So this is a 2-part polymer. It takes about a day to finish curing, and it takes about a day to cure. What we do is we dip the eye first because we want this polymer to penetrate into the rope, so that then those fibers act kind of like rebar and concrete. It's just, it makes it a lot more durable. It's a lot stronger. And this is part of the rope. Like, you can't peel this off. So there are machines where we could dip the containment coating, which is the pigmented color, and the color is just for aesthetic.
Right.
What this is, it's not paint, it's more of a glue. And we're gluing the fibers together. We're making the rope more durable. But if we were to do that part first, then dip the eye, then this, you could just peel it off with your thumbnail because it wouldn't penetrate into the rope.
That makes sense.
This creates a barrier for that cord, is keeping the sand, the dirt, mud, the water, everything out of it, so then the cordage will last longer. That way it won't fluff up or die. This is how we get the rope to last for years. So many of our foreign competitors, they'll use dyed nylon. What people don't realize is that dyed nylon, like, the dye is not nylon. It is a foreign object that's kind of melted into it, and so it compromises the integrity of the nylon. Though, like, when you get microscope, like if you get an electron microscope, electron microscope, and you really look down on that, you can see that pigment looks like gravel inside the nylon, because it's not as strong. But it's like, if you want to make a rope cheap and fast, and really drop your price,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, to compete in a foreign market, what you're going to do is you're going to use dyed nylon, because as soon as it's done in the braiding machine, you splice it, you have a finished product. For us, we're still like 6 days away from being able to deliver a finished product, because this right here takes a day to dry, and this stuff takes 72 hours to dry.
Wow.
It takes a long time. But what's great about it is that dye, that pigment, is not inside the nylon. It's just stuck to itself around the nylon. The nylon is just, basically the lattice framework that it's stuck to. So we're not compromising the integrity of the nylon, of the rope itself. We're just now protecting it. But now if you've got dyed nylon that looks pretty, that you've done all of that stuff with, and now you're selling that product, now you've got a fine product that's compromised, that's not glued together, that was cheap.
So just kind of there.
Yeah, so that's what we're fighting all the time when people say, well, I can find an Amazon, a rope on Amazon half the price of yours. It's like, yeah, because it's cheap.
It's gonna last half as long.
It's gonna last half as long, because it's not, like, those fibers aren't glued together, and it's dyed nylon, and it doesn't have the same integrity that nylon 6/6 in its purest form. That's why it's white, because there's no foreign bodies in it. And so that's the process, and that's why our ropes last so long as they're treated properly.
Right. Using them correctly, of course, goes a long ways.
Yeah. You can break our ropes. Like, if you take that 5/8 inch rope that's built for a side-by-side, and then, let's say that side-by-side can't pull it out, somebody shows up with a diesel truck, says, well, I'll get it out. Yeah, you're gonna break the rope.
Right. It's not going to hold up.
You're outclassed for the weight. But that's the whole process of doing it. And this is why our ropes are more expensive. They are made in the USA. We're in Burley, Idaho. And we just do every step that we can to make sure that this rope is going to outlast and outperform everything else on the market. And that comes at a cost. It's just the drying time alone takes forever. Right. But that's for, like I said, a finished sling. There's got a couple more steps. This is the other fun part. So on this side, this is our sewing department. So we sew our own tags. We print our tags, we sew them, and then we sew the tag to the rope. So, and that's where this takes place. We also do a lot of flat straps and other devices, and our soft shackle corners over there. Like I said, this is the weekend, everybody's home, so not much is happening today. But it's nice, it's quiet, so we can actually talk on camera.
It's kind of nice to be able to see it without, being as busy, not having to get in everybody's way, and be able to just kind of take it all in and see it,
Yeah, and this is, it's kind of fun. It's kind of eerie when it's this quiet in here. But so over there, that's where we do the small corded splicing. Over there, that's where we do all of our soft shackle work. And then this is the large rope table, and then all of our flat sewing takes place here. And so I had no idea it'd take so many different sewing machines to do this.
Yeah, this is crazy, like seeing everything, how it's all, laid out and everything. There's a lot of, you see kind of like the finished product, you get it and you just kind of take advantage, not take advantage of it, you kind of take it for granted, getting to use it, and then you see how it's like, how many steps actually goes into like actually making that finished product. It's pretty wild to actually see the whole process, Right. That's pretty cool.
And a lot of people were like, oh man, it must be nice when you're doing the manufacturing of it, you get a better margin. We didn't gain very much margin, but what we did gain was the ability to deliver faster. And so now, since we're producing in-house, it's also so we can do our own quality control, we can do our own testing, we know exactly what's going into everything. It's just more control and being able to fine tune, because the problem is that if you're not producing something, you have to send it back and forth. If you don't like it, whatever, you could be out the cost of what that is. And then there's the back and forth R&D that just takes forever. We can R&D very quickly and get something right. So if there's, like, for instance, if there was a custom order, somebody wanted like an 1 1/8 inch diameter rope, which currently we only do 1 inch and 1 1/4.
Right.
But we can make anything in between if that was requested.
If there was,
we just have to produce a lot of it,
right,
for it to be worth it, because we have to retool everything.
Literally everything.
Yeah, and so, but anyways, once it's tagged, then it's put into inventory, and then we go into the shipping and receiving area. So we've kind of changed the layout of this place a few times. But if you ever order a rope and you see Jolene's signature on it, this is where she works. So this is where all of the large rope is stored. And we splice, like I said, all of our big ropes. We go up to a 2.5 inch, which is rated for 201,000 pounds. We also do our own soft shackles. Here's the soft shackle for that size of rope.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is huge. I mean, that's like, it's like the size of like somebody's arm, basically.
Yep. Yeah, 1 inch winch line. And we can go bigger too. Like this is what works for 99% of what we produce. We'll do anything bigger, smaller, whatever's needed, but that's the process. Anyways, it's fun. So like I said, this is where we store all the big stuff, and then the little stuff is just over here on this side. And we do all pick and pull. We've got our swag there, and then this is, like I said, all of the winch line, fair leads, winch rings, soft shackles, hard shackles, everything in between. So, and all the different colors.
Right.
And it's been a process to get it to this point. We've got some big goals for 2025, but it's just a fun process. So, anyways, but yeah, thanks for coming over. Thanks for hanging out.
This has been awesome being able to see how all of this works, and how everything operates, here at Yankum Ropes, not instead of just ordering the product and being able to, it's showing up, you get to see how it's actually made, That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100% made in the USA. Like, and it's, we wear that badge with pride, because it's hard. Like, it's really hard. It's very expensive, and it's a process, and we're always fighting to kind of get into that economy of scale, so that we can order more raw material, which then helps us drop price. And
right.
We're a small fish in the sea when it comes to cordage production, especially when you go foreign. Like,
right.
This facility is tiny compared to some of the ones that we've seen in the United States. Like, We have 4 braiding machines. There's some of them that have over 100. You
Wow.
know? And so when you get into
That's
that
wild.
size, like then things just get easier. So it's been a real fight to do it at such a small scale.
Right.
Like some people will look at this like, wow, this is huge. I'm like, oh man.
you don't even know.
This is small in the rope world. And so then that's what's fun is that gives me goosebumps that we've been able to figure out how to do it at such a small scale and still deliver an affordable product.
Right.
Even though our product is the most expensive on the market. But
It's also the best.
We've made sure it's the best. Like
Right.
we've done everything that we can. Like we test everything from how much twist and how much twist in the rope. It's called pick angle. Getting that pick angle just perfect. And we obsess over it because we know if that rope performs, the word of mouth we want to make sure that it just works and it continues to work for as long as possible for everybody that has it. And
Right.
yeah, we lose margin on it, but that is what has helped us carry our brand, our name is something that that people
Higher
can rely
than,
on.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You've been able to put that much time and R&D into making the best instead of just putting out a cheap product like everybody else.
We decided to try and do it the hard way.
Hey.
But so far it's paying off. A couple times we've been a little worried about that, but but that's the thing about that's what I love about being in this country is that the American dream is still very much alive.
Yep.
If you're willing to work hard. And that's
something not very many people are willing to do nowadays is put the time and effort. They just want overnight success, you know?
A lot of people say, well, the American dream is dead. It's just like, well, if you don't work long enough, hard enough for it, it's not going to kick in. You have to,
it's earned, it's not given.
It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. But the cool thing is if you do that in this country, it has a better chance of working. You can't do that anywhere else.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, but thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to come down to Texas and go play around on the beach and see if we can do some sand recoveries.
That would be awesome. Y'all definitely need to come down. We'll show you how we do it down there instead of up here in the mountains and we get sand and mud where I'm from. So.
Yeah. A lot of here is just it's a lot of agriculture and farming and stuff. But the beach, that sounds like a lot more fun.
It can be. Sometimes it's a pain, but
I bet.
it's fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming.
I'm glad we were able to make the stop. I'm glad it all worked out there for a little while. The flights, it was a nightmare. I wasn't sure if this was going to work out, but I'm glad we were able to get it done and be able to stop by.
Well, you got a good tow truck. I got to drive it once. It was fun. I popped the tire. But
I remember seeing that. I'll put a link to Casey's video so you can watch that. It was
good.
That was a good one.
It was. It was a kind of a wild story you just got to go watch the video.
Well, I'll put a link. You can go and watch his video on that. But cool. Well, I appreciate it. I will also link to Yankum Ropes and in the description.
Description, but also the
pinned comment.
The pinned comment. That's the easiest place to find it.
I'll have a pinned comment and in the description. That's on all of my videos in the description, but I'll put a pinned comment in this one also.
And there's a promo code there too.
Yeah, and my promo code and all that, so you can get discount on all your Yankum gear, all the stuff you get to see all in here. You can use my code and get a discount on it. So
your rope is just sitting on that shelf right over there.
Right over there. You just got to go and order it using that link. So.
Well, thanks again for coming over.
Yeah, it was good. I appreciate it again.
Yeah,
that was amazing. So cool. All right. Well, we are going to continue our trip.